All right, thank you. Let's go ahead and I'm going to call this meeting to order. First and foremost, we'll go ahead and do a roll call. So Dr. Garcia? Oh,
Present.
perfect. And Dr. Bragg?
Present.
Excellent.
I'm having issues with getting my camera on.
Okay. All right, and then I'm Dr. Wong, and I'm present also. So we have quorum, and all three members of the committee are here.
President Wong, just real quick, move on. I just want to make sure with council, we are okay, right, to proceed with Member Bragg, notwithstanding
Yes,
more issues under
that's
current.
correct. And until December 31st, we're totally fine with that.
Thank you, council.
Yep.
All right, thank you. Let's go ahead and move on to item number 2 on the agenda, which is public comment for items not on the agenda. Madam Moderator, if you could open up the queue in case we have any questions or comments.
All right, this is the moderator, and at the direction of the committee, I've opened up the Q&A feature for public comment. Members of the public, if you would like to make a comment for items not on the agenda, please click the Q&A icon located at the bottom right-hand corner of your WebEx screen, or use the raise hand icon. And audio-only participants may raise their hand by pressing *3 on their device. I'll go ahead and pause a moment to allow the public time to access these features and submit their requests. All right, and seeing none, would you like me to close the Q&A panel?
Yes, please. Okay, we will now move on to item number 3, which is discussion and possible approval of our June 23rd, 2023 Practice and Education Committee draft meeting minutes. Dr. Garcia and Dr. Bragg, do you have any comments about our minutes?
Yeah, no corrections to the minutes as written, so I'll motion to accept them as written.
Right. And Dr. Bragg, do you have any comments about the minutes, or can I?
No comments. I can second that motion.
Perfect. So I have a motion from Dr. Garcia, a second from Dr. Bragg, and let's go ahead and vote. Dr. Garcia?
I vote aye.
Perfect. Dr. Bragg?
Aye.
And Dr. Wong votes aye. So motion passes. And now we are going to move on to item number 4, which is discussion and possible action on our continuing education courses. We have a number of items, and before I call for a motion, Dr. Garcia or Dr. Bragg, do you have any comments about any of the courses in section 4? So sections 4A or B or C or D?
I just had a question on 4A III
Okay.
about the amount of glaucoma for the OCT. The number of slides, I think there were like 90 slides and 18 were with glaucoma. So I don't know if
it's all glaucoma.
For the full, and I don't know if in a course are you able to do half glaucoma, half general, or does it have to be fully?
I think in general, I don't know, Dr. Garcia, I think in general, we usually just give one category per course.
Yeah, if it's one application, it's one category for the number of hours presented. In this case, I definitely see where Stacy's coming from, but the OCT slides were in a whole within a glaucoma presentation. So I think in that respect, it does count. But I definitely could see it going either way without sending it back.
So I guess the question is, are we okay with accepting 4A III as being a glaucoma course?
Hey, Dr. Bragg, what do you think?
I felt that it was more general because there were multiple, the OCT for a lot more retinal diseases versus the glaucoma. But I would be fine if it feel like it was enough glaucoma discussion to warrant glaucoma credit.
Dr. Garcia, do you have an opinion?
Yeah, I would be inclined to approve it as glaucoma as it's presented. And maybe we can reach back out to the applicant to say that it was a little borderline, and that next time we would possibly reject it.
Okay. Right, I'm in agreement with both Dr. Garcia and Dr. Bragg, and I would be okay accepting it as a glaucoma course, even with its limited number of slides in regards to glaucoma. Thank you, Dr. Bragg. Do either one of you have any other comments for items in 4A, B, C, or D? No.
Yeah, this is Dr. Garcia. I was okay with all of them as presented for the categories and hours requested.
So if neither of you have any comments about those in section number 4, can I get a motion to pass items in 4A, so 4AI through 4AXII through 4BI through 4BV, CI, and DI? So all items in section 4.
I'll make that motion.
Okay.
I'll second that motion.
All right, Dr. Bragg makes the motion, Dr. Garcia seconds the motion, and at this point, we just need a vote. Dr. Garcia,
I vote aye.
Dr. Bragg,
Aye.
Dr. Wong votes aye. So items in section 4A, B, C, and D have all been passed.
President Wong and council, just a point of clarification, if I may. Should we be also taking public comment on these items or asking for public comment? And if so, should we be doing that before we vote or after?
Thank you, Mr. Pruden. That's right. If we could go back and maybe entertain public comment and then maybe redo the vote.
Okay, sorry.
Thank
I
you.
got ahead of myself again. All right, so we've had a motion and we've had a seconded motion to pass items 4A, B, C, and D. Madam Moderator, if you could open up the queue for public comment, please.
This is the moderator, and at the direction of the committee, I've opened up the Q&A feature for public comment. Members of the public, if you would like to make a comment on agenda item 4, please click the Q&A icon located at the bottom right-hand corner of your WebEx screen, or use the raise hand function. And audio-only participants may raise their hand by pressing *3 on their device. All right, and seeing no requests for public comment, would you like me to close that Q&A panel?
Yes, please. Okay, I think now we will go ahead and go with our vote for passing items in 4A, B, C, and D. Dr. Garcia, can I get a vote?
I vote aye.
Dr. Bragg
Aye.
and Dr. Wong votes aye. So motion passes. Looking to our next item on the agenda, which is number 5, discussion and possible action on continuing education courses for online applications. Dr. Garcia and Dr. Bragg, do you have any comments on items 5A, B, or C?
This is Dr. Garcia. I do have a question on 5B, the CPR. I know we're all encouraged to take it. As far as hours, is it a 1-for-1 under general? What are the roles?
It was my understanding that it's a 1-for-1 and it comes under miscellaneous.
Miscellaneous, okay.
But Greg, do you know anything different?
No, that's consistent with my understanding too. I was gonna try to just double check it and confirm while we were considering it.
Okay.
It's the first time I've seen CPR come across this committee since I've been on it.
Mm-hmm. I think in general it has come under miscellaneous, but it's been a while.
Yeah, I think that's probably the appropriate category. And that'd probably be consistent with what we've done in the past. It wouldn't seem to fit in any of the other, general optometry or any of the other categories.
So are we okay voting on it, do you think, Greg, or should we hold off?
I think we're fine to vote on it.
Okay. Dr. Bragg, do you have any comments on items 5A, B, or C?
No, I just had this similar question as far as the CPR course.
Okay, so I think as of right now, we will take the CPR course as a 4-hour miscellaneous continuing education course. Can I get a motion to pass items 5A, B, and C on the agenda?
President Wong, prior to considering that motion, just looking at the regulation as it speaks to the CPR courses, the language says up to 4 hours.
Okay.
So I think that would give this committee some discretion to determine how many hours this course should count for. But the category is appropriate, miscellaneous.
Thank you. So I'm not sure, I thought in general it's usually 1 hour for 1 hour. So when I was reviewing the course, I just assumed it was a 4-hour CPR course, which is why they were requesting a 4-hour miscellaneous category. Do either of you guys, did either of you guys notice anything
Yeah, I
different?
think that's appropriate. Usually it's a 4-hour didactic and 4-hour hands-on.
Yeah.
It's usually pretty much a full day
Mhm.
total.
All right. So I think at this point, are we okay accepting it as a 4-hour miscellaneous CE course?
Yes.
Okay. So if that's the case, then can I get a motion to pass items 5A, B, and C?
Do we need public comment?
I need the motion first,
Oh,
and then we'll open
I'll
up
make
for
that
public-
motion.
Okay,
And I'll
Yeah.
second that motion.
perfect. So we have a motion. Madam Moderator, if you could open up the queue for public comment.
This is the moderator, and at the direction of the committee, I have opened up the Q&A feature for public comment. Members of the public, if you would like to make a comment on this item, please click the Q&A icon located at the bottom right-hand corner of your WebEx screen or use the raise hand function. And audio-only participants may raise their hand by pressing *3 on their device. We'll pause a moment to allow the public time to access these features and submit their requests. All right, and seeing none, would you like me to close that Q&A panel?
Yes, please. Thank you. Okay, so at this point, we are going just to vote on item number 5. Dr. Garcia,
I vote aye.
Dr. Bragg,
Aye.
and Dr. Wong votes aye, so motion passes. Let us go ahead and go on to item number 6, which is future agenda items. Madam Moderator, if you could open up the Q&A for public comment on future agenda items, please.
This is the moderator, and at the direction of the committee, I have opened up the Q&A feature for public comment. Members of the public, if you would like to make a comment on this item, please click the Q&A icon located at the bottom right-hand corner of your WebEx screen or use the raise hand function. And audio-only participants may raise their hand by pressing *3 on their device.
President Wong, do we have section 5 to review?
Well, we just went over section 5. We just voted on section 5.
That was 5?
That was the online application. So we had the live CE complete, and then we had online applications, which was 5.
Right, okay. So, okay, thank you. That's fine.
And
Dr. Garcia, you're thinking at most of the time on these meetings, we also have what we used to call the Kaiser applications.
Right.
The completed, the online, and then a subsequent category that we consider.
A third one, yeah.
Yeah, we didn't have any in that category this time. So I think you're feeling like, isn't there more to talk about?
all right, seeing no requests for public comment, would you like me to close that Q&A panel?
Yes, please. I forgot to ask Dr. Bragg and Dr. Garcia if there were any other future agenda items you wanted to put on our next meeting, our next agenda.
I have none.
I don't have any.
Okay. So I think at this point, Dr.
I have one. Yeah, from the executive officer. This is one that I don't know if we'll talk about at the next meeting, but for a future item, just want to publicly talk about it for a quick moment. This is something we've talked about in the past related to ARBO Coke categories. and maybe a future agenda item to talk about looking toward the future for designing, probably in regulation, it would be a course category sort of guidelines, if you will. We've talked about this at past PEC meetings, that there are other states of optometry that have produced guidelines about which ARBO COPE categories count for which types of credit. So I'd like to bring this item back to this committee at a future agenda item.
Thank you.
Yep.
And Dr. Bragg, do you have anything that you would like to add to as a future agenda item?
No, I don't.
Okay. Well, then in that case, we are now going to move on to item number 7 on the agenda, which is our adjournment. So thank you, everybody, for coming to our meeting, and thank you for reviewing all of the courses, because we had a lot of courses to review. So I appreciate all the time and effort you've put in to make this meeting on the rather quick side.
Thank you. Thank you, staff. I
Thank
always
you.
feel smarter after reviewing all the CE.
Thank you both.
Thank you, staff, for preparing. Everything's nice and organized. Love it.
Appreciate the feedback. Thank you, members.
Thank you.
All right, this is a moderator. I'll go ahead and end the WebEx now. Thank you.